I've had a lot of systems growing up over the years, and I wanted to wait till towards the end of my channel to finally do this video, so that way the video didn't become irrelevant after a few days, because, well, my opinion on games change, or I get even better games or new systems. So that's why I'm doing this video today, talking about my favorite game for every single system, which I happen to own. Oh yeah, before we start, quick reminder, I'm not going to be counting any ports or remakes of games. So games that were remade for newer systems, those will not count. And that's really it. Enjoy the video. Sega! First off is the Sega Genesis, and overall there are some pretty solid games to still come back to on this system. Coach K College Basketball is a classic, as well as NBA Jam. Sonic 2 definitely revolutionized Sonic even more by giving Tails his first game, as well as the level design being a lot better, and with there only being 2 acts for stages, except for Metropolis Zone, I hate that zone so much, and the fact how there are different boss cars for Dr. Eggman again. Aside from that, really, it's pretty much the same exact game as Sonic 1. But I think overall my favorite game still is NHL 95. I still have so much nostalgia for that game. I love that game. It is just a blast still to play. The NHL games on Genesis are masterpieces. The PlayStation 2 is next. We all know what my favorite game is on the system, and it's my favorite game of all time. But I figured before we go ahead and talk about it, I'd just go ahead and mention the other 2 games that I nominated for this list, being NASCAR Thunder 2004, my favorite NASCAR game of all time, and NCAA Football 06, another one of my top 10 favorite games of all time, my favorite football game of all time, and my favorite college football game of all time. Yeah, it's still Hot Shots Golf 4. Big surprise. Wow. But yeah, this game is just so much fun to still play to this day. It's got really good courses, really fun characters, really fun gameplay, really fun everything. It's just my favorite game of all time. I play it all the time. I talk about it all the time. Just thought I'd keep it brief for this one because, well, you already had a feeling what my favorite game on the system was going to be. The DS is next, and yeah, the problem about the DS is there really wasn't a whole lot of great first-party support on the system. There were some greats like Mario Kart DS, New Super Mario Bros., and Mario Party DS, but that's really it, to be honest. There's not really a whole lot other stuff to go back to. There are some other decent ones like Mario Hoops 3-on-3, for example, but even then, that's only a game I played so much. These are the 3s that I mainly played the most and had a lot more time put into than the others. New Super Mario Bros. Easily wins. It's not even close. This is the game that made me want a DS for crying out loud, and also the game that got me into Mario for crying out loud. This has to be the winner overall. I played this game so many times, I beaten it countless times, I played the mini games countless times, I played the multiplayer countless times. It's crazy how much I played this game. I played it so much to the point where people get mad at me whenever I beat them all the time in Mario and Luigi, because I just got so good at it. Now that's more like it, Nintendo. The Wii had so much good stuff on it. It easily is my favorite Nintendo system. So much stuff came out for the system, and there was so much good variety and solid games. Mario Strikers Charged is my favorite Mario spin-off. Super Mario Galaxy is one of my top 3 favorite Mario games of all time. Mario Kart Wii is another great spin-off. Wii Sports Resort and Wii Party are 2 classic Wii series of games. And even the Mario and Sonic Olympic games make it on the list. I loved playing these 2 games growing up. Winter Olympics and 2012 London were my 2 favorites. They were so much fun. And that's not even including some other games like Smash Bros. Brawl, Guitar Hero 3, and Mario Galaxy 2. Those are just 3 more games I could put on here. I could make a top 10 list of Wii games for crying out loud. There's so many games. But my favorite one has to be Mario Strikers Charged. The personality, the gameplay, the intensity, everything about this game is just so good. And it really disappoints me of what Mario Strikers Battle League was on the Switch, because Mario Strikers Charged was such a good game on the Wii. It is easily my favorite Mario spin-off game, one of my favorite Mario games if you include any type of Mario game out there. Such a good game. We slow things down with the PS3 only having 3 games. That's funny, am I right? Anyways, Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds, it's more just the replacement to World Invitational because I liked World Invitational a lot more than Out of Bounds. Not that Out of Bounds is a bad game, but if I had to pick between the 2, World Invitational I like a lot more. And NCAA Football 14 was one of the reasons why I wanted to get a PS3. However, I gotta give it to Last of Us. I have to. I loved everything about The Last of Us. It's one of the best games, if not, I would probably say the greatest game ever made. While Hot Shots Golf 4 is my favorite game of all time, I would consider, in terms of critical acclaim games, Last of Us is easily the greatest game ever made. The 3DS is next, and my oh my, this was pretty decent. There were some pretty solid games on here, like Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Golf World Tour, Tomodachi Life, and the Smash Bros. For 3DS. And I gotta say, there is one game on here that I've played so much more than all three of these games combined. And it's one that I could just put hours and hours into without getting tired of it, because it's just one you can constantly come back to every 5 to 10 minutes at times and just check in and see what's going on. Tomodachi Life. Yeah, that one easily wins. It's not even close. It's one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. It's just so much fun to just put anyone you want into a life simulator game with the Mii characters. It's so creative, it's so charming, and it's just so much fun to just go back to. Just to pop it in for 5 minutes, check and see what's going on, maybe see what drama's going on, and maybe you might play the game for hours on end randomly. It overall is a game you play for 5 hours or 5 minutes, and it's very, very fun. The Wii U is next, and really there wasn't a ton on this system. Only selling 13 million units doesn't help, but I gotta say, there were some pretty solid games on here. Super Mario 3D World, Mario Kart 8, and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U were the three heavy hitters on the system, I would say. And my favorite game in the system, though, has to be Super Mario 3D World. I love this game to death. I 100%ed it on the Switch version, and I just love this game so much. However, I can't include the Switch version because it's a port, and I'm not counting ports. But I gotta say, Super Mario 3D World, though, easily the best Wii U game. Mario Kart 8, a solid Mario Kart game, but I think Wii is the best one personally. And Smash for Wii U was decent, definitely an upgrade from Brawl, but not the best either. The Xbox One is next, and there's only one game I can give a nominee to because it's my favorite in the series, and the reason why I wanted an Xbox One. Forza Horizon 4, without a doubt, it has to be my favorite game on the system. Not only was it the one that I got that made me want the system, but it's also the game that got me hooked into Forza, and I have so many hours into this game. I love this game to death. I played it so much since it came out, and it saddens me that the game is actually approaching its deathbed soon. The Switch is next, and I love the Switch and all, but the problem is there are way too many ports or remakes of games on this system, because my god, it feels like 1/3 of the system's library that I have for the system is just ports or remakes. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Miitopia are two games I wanted to put on here, and Miitopia probably had a good chance of winning this, but couldn't because it was a 3DS game, not a Switch game. It was a port, which kind of sucks. Granted, Miitopia is a lot different on the Switch, but still, it's a port. So that's why instead, I'm giving the winner to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. While Mario Odyssey is my favorite Mario game for the system, and my second favorite behind 3D World, the problem is Odyssey really just has a lot of stuff that was kind of reused as the game progressed on. A lot of the moons felt the same, and while the game was amazing, don't get me wrong, it was amazing on the first playthrough, it did get repetitive after that. Clubhouse Games is a fine game to just play for a little while with your friends. It's a great game. It's very underrated. I love it, but yeah, I gotta give it to Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's the ultimate package. We wrap it up with the Series X, and I gotta say, this is a pretty big improvement, I gotta say. Forza Horizon 5, while not my favorite in the series, is a pretty solid game still overall. However, it definitely did have some issues when I first got the game, and I did get more bored of it compared to Forza Horizon 4. Didn't help how I also got Forza Horizon 4 when I got my Xbox One, and it was a lot more newer to me. Street Fighter 6 is a pretty solid game, however, I don't like the prices of the DLC that much, and I don't like how so many characters were out of the game at the launch. So that leaves us with College Football 25. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's the winner. I honestly was in disbelief because I was very skeptical and optimistic with this game, but I wasn't expecting it to be the greatest game on the system. Heck, let alone be one of my favorite games to play right now, because I've enjoyed this game so much. And this is coming from an EA Sports hater who has hated the life out of Madden since Madden NFL 13, to be honest. I really don't like many of the Madden games afterward. They just got worse and worse. But College Football 25 is actually decent, and I actually got to give it a lot of credit there. And that wraps things up. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you guys like. I don't really say to subscribe because I quit in a week. But if you want to subscribe, feel free. If you don't, then I don't blame you because this channel ends in a week. And that's really all I got to say. See y'all next week for the finale. Bye.